So for folks that maybe aren't familiar, I guess, with kind of crypto in general, and even just the idea of kind of protocols, like, and I think this might get into kind of Figment when you talk about like
Yeah.
infrastructure. What
Mhm.
what's the difference between a protocol? What's the difference between, like, to use Ethereum as an example, and like lots of there's thousands of tokens at this point kind of built on top of
Mhm.
Ethereum. uh, are the what makes something a protocol versus just a token? When you say that you built infrastructure to allow this proliferation of blockchains, like what does that mean? Like, what are some of the pieces of necessary pieces of that infrastructure in order for that to actually happen? Talk a little bit about kind of just the mental map, I guess, for folks
Yeah.
to wrap their heads around it.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. It's a great one to think about. I think about this simple narrative, which is we're trying to promote the use of protocols over platforms. And
Okay.
so let's maybe compare and contrast what I mean by that. And so these aren't going to be perfect definitions, but maybe a way for people to think about it.
Yeah.
Email is a protocol where, Sean, like I mentioned earlier, you could stand up an email server. I could stand up an email server. I could write my own email app. I could create something like Outlook. I create something like Gmail, and we're all using this same system because it's an
Hmm.
open protocol. Anyone can sort of attach themselves to and start participating in.
Hmm.
A easy counterexample is think about Facebook. And remember when they had their big Facebook platform and people started building games on it? And then they
Yeah.
said, we're shutting all you down.
Yeah.
It's a closed platform. And so that's maybe the first level to start thinking about this is like platforms are usually owned by one company, and they usually can kind of turn you on and turn you off.
Yeah.
And whereas most protocols are open protocols, these networks are sort of, there's no one who rules over it, and that people can kind of attach to it in different ways. The specification is very clear, all that kind of stuff. And so maybe that's the first level to start thinking about it is there's just been so many cases over time of developer platforms, people building onto them and then getting pulled off them. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And so, but that has not happened with email. There's tons of people who are building on top of email and it's still going.
Yeah.
Blockchains are sort of similar to that, meaning when you say you have a new protocol, it's sort of this open standard that anyone can build to. They can build interfaces on top of, they can try to extend it, all those sort of things. And maybe that's the first way to start thinking about it.